You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
The forecast is for the hottest day of the summer so far in Boston. That's okay. It is time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday Game of the Week. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the rubber game of a three-game set from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees won the first game of this three-game series on Friday, and that snapped a four-game winning streak for the Red Sox. And, David, the Red Sox really needed a win yesterday.
Yeah, Michael, you just got the feeling that this was a more important series for the Red Sox, obviously trending upward, trying to get it going, get back in the races. A-Rod puts a dent in that thought as another first-inning home run for Alex and another pair of batting gloves given away to the young fan. And then the Red Sox turn it around. Hanley Ramirez, an absolute beast, as much power as just about any right-handed hitter in the American League, into the Red Sox bullpen. That's a long way from the opposite side. So that leads you to the last game of the first half, Michael, and there's the standings.
The lows never stop improving standings, and the Red Sox are trying to improve to 4.5 out. No matter what happens today, the Yankees go into the break at least 2 games ahead of somebody. Not too bad. All right, the rubber game pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Wade Miley, the left-hander, will get the start for the Red Sox. And for the Yankees, it's Nathan Eovaldi. And, David, he's an evolving pitcher. He's pitched much better of late.
Well, he really has, and we've talked about it all year. Will Eovaldi make adjustments? How does this guy get hit so much? Well, the adjustments clearly is the splitter and the high fastball, a deadly combination. Eovaldi really throwing the splitter much more effectively, harder, down, more velocity, late break. Clearly, Eovaldi has made a lot of progress since he gave up 8 earned runs against his former team, the Miami Marlins, 5 starts ago.
In a rubber game, there's no clowning around. Both teams want to win this one as they go into the break. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees, Red Sox, next on Yes. Powered by Hyundai, who invites you to make a connection to the road in the new Sonata. Visit your Hyundai dealer today. By Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. Call 844-2-RADIATION-DOC. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Welcome back to Fenway Park. We are close to baseball, the final game of the first half of the season. They're exchanging the lineup cards at home plate. And, both David and I agree that this was probably a bigger series for the Red Sox because they have to prove they're still in this. Otherwise, they've got to make trades to maybe dump people and fatten up their farm system. If they win today, well, they can go into the break saying, hey, we're 4.5 games out with half a season left to play, and that's not too bad a situation.
Not at all. I think everybody in the American League East feels like they have a chance, and it is a remarkable division. The first half, almost every team can really realistically think that they can get into this race and possibly win it.
All right, so the Red Sox have taken the field, and with the Connecticut State Police Honor Guard on the field, Michael Grillo of Stonington, Connecticut, will sing our national anthem.
And here to perform our national anthem is the principal systems engineer at Foxwoods Resort Casino, who is one of 3 winners from our Sing Your Way to Fenway competition. Please welcome a native of Stonington, Connecticut, Michael Grillo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, nice rendition of our national anthem by Michael Grillo. Red Sox with some little leaguers on the field next to them. Now we'll take their positions. Wade Miley will come out, and this is the Yankees starting lineup that he's going to face, presented by Lexus. Center fielder Jacoby Ellsbury will lead off, batting second and playing left field, the All-Star Brett Gardner. DH Alex Rodriguez, he's going to bat third. Cleaning up, first baseman Mark Teixeira. Chris Young's in right field, he'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and catching, Brian McCann. Chase Headley, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, D.D. Gregorius, and Rob Refsnyder, the second baseman, 0 for 3 in his first big league game, will have his second big league start, and he will bat ninth.
And the Yankees will face this left-hander, Wade Miley, on the year. This will be his 18th start, 8-7, 101 hits in 96 innings, but only 37 walks against 71 strikeouts. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers, and he is a Fenway fan. Actually, he's 4-0 with a 2.55 ERA in his last several starts here at Fenway, so certainly liking the home cooking. And Snowman in July, well, that's in reference to his win total, 8. 8 is often referenced as a snowman in baseball lore, and he's got 8 wins. He's the first Red Sox lefty since Frank Viola in 1992 to have 8 wins before the break. If he gets his 9th here today, he'll be the first one since 1933 to do it for the Red Sox. And he is a workhorse lefty, and this kind of surprised me, Michael. He's made 83 starts consecutively since the beginning of 2013. There's only 2 other lefties in the big leagues that can say that. That's John Lester and Mark Burley. So clearly a durable workhorse of a lefty here for the Red Sox.
Red Sox got him in a trade during the offseason. We'll talk about that as we move along. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense, which is presented by Geico. Deaza in left, Betts in center. Victorino gets starting right. In the infield, Sandoval, Bogarts, Holt, and Shaw. That's Travis Shaw. Third to first, Ryan Hannigan behind the plate. And David told you about Wade Miley on the mound. Let's take a look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. It's 88 degrees. It's supposed to top out about 90, 91, 41% humidity, not much wind, mostly sunny and hot, and it is a broiler on the field for sure. So most of these two teams are going to have a break. Only one Red Sox has made the All-Star team. That's Brock Holt. 3 Yankees have made the team: Teixeira, Gardner, and Betances, and everybody else gets a 4-day break. And for the Yankees, it's a legitimate 4-day break because they open at home on Friday. The Red Sox, not so much a 4-game break because they open in Anaheim on Friday. Ellsbury's ready. Miley's ready. And let's do it here at Fenway. The first pitch is a strike. We're underway. Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire. Pat Holberg at first. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, is the second base ump. And Chris Conroy is at third. Missed low and away, 1-1.
You'll notice how fast Miley works. Right up there among the league leaders in pace. Right behind Burley. Burley always the fastest worker.
Grounded to first. Shaw steps on the bag. 1 away. Now, you can't tell from the defense, but when we give you the Red Sox lineup, you'll be a little alarmed because there's no David Ortiz. You don't rest a guy before there are 4 days off. He's actually out of the game because he has a respiratory infection that's been bouncing around the team, and it got to him. And they really waited a long time before they posted their lineup and decided that David couldn't go today, so that's a little bit of a break for the Yanks. Here's Brett Gardner, 6 hits in his last 16 at-bats, hitting an even 300, 10 homers, and 42 runs batted in. Sandoval in on the grass at third. Picked on the backhand by Hannigan. Gardner in the first inning is a .394 hitter. 28 for 71. And he scored 21 runs. And that's a table setter. And the Yankees lead the major leagues in first inning runs.
That's what makes it so impressive. Also 42 RBIs at the top of the order. Second, or batting first, obviously, with Ellsbury on the DL recently. But the extra base hit percentage from Gardner, a .486 slugging percentage.
Popped up. Sandoval fighting the sun. And he wins that battle for the second inning. Now to bring up A-Rod. He's had a home run in the first inning of the first 2 games. And finishing up a very strong first half. Talking before the game, Jordy was summing up the first half, and he said probably the biggest surprise is the production of Alex Rodriguez. I don't think anybody knew that this is what he was going to do. And a strike.
Yeah, nobody predicted it. Some people had his first half numbers as a prediction for the entire year. I think it goes hand in hand. It's the combination of him and Mark Teixeira, who so much respect each other, know each other very well. Collectively, back to back, those two, an incredible tandem that have really fed off of each other. Rare that you see a 3 and a 4 hitter that are going to be at the top of the list for comeback player of the year, both of them.
First base umpire Holberg said no, he did not go. Didn't look like he went. Alex is slugging at .516, on base percentage of .384. His OPS is .900. No one, not even in Alex's family, could have predicted that. He essentially has missed the last 2 years. Last year, the suspension, then the hip surgeries. And here he is, I think a week or so, he'll turn 40, having a great year. High fly ball. Shallow center. Betts is there to make the play, and the Yankees go down in order against Wade Miley. It's the Yankees nothing, and the Boston Red Sox coming to bat. Nathan Eovaldi, today's Red Sox starting lineup presented by your local Acura dealer. Mookie Betts in center field will lead off, batting second and playing second, Brock Holt. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, will hit third. Cleaning up, third baseman Pablo Sandoval. Hanley Ramirez, the DH, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing left field, Alejandro De Aza. Shane Victorino gets to start in right field, he'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing first base, the rookie Travis Shaw. And Ryan Hannigan will catch, and he's going to bat ninth.
And that is the lineup that this guy's going to face. As Nathan Eovaldi's ready to go. The warm-ups are done. He's towing the slab. And on the season, looking for his 9th win and only 26 walks, even though 116 hits.
We'll get the scouting report in a moment as Mookie Betts digs in. Yankees play him straight away. And Eovaldi deals. And a strike. 97 miles an hour. Start off the day.
Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He's definitely trending in the right direction. 3-0 with a 2.38 ERA in his last 4. And the lefty answer. Overall, it's really been a split problem. Eovaldi, overall, lefties batting .353 against him. It's the third highest in the majors, but 7 for 38 in the last 4, as Ryan Rucco mentioned, a 184 average. He's kind of figuring it out. That's the progress you want to see, and the split is the difference. That hard splitter, he's gained about 4 miles an hour on that particular pitch, and much higher quality now recently with the new and improved splitter.
Grounded foul. Now, we've always been asked, well, how does the guy who throws 98, 99 give up that many hits? Well, talking to Alex Rodriguez, he said, when you throw 98 down, he said, that's like 92. He said, you throw 98 up, that's 98. He said, so a lot of people have been talking to Eovaldi about get the fastball up and then the splitter down. He goes, it's a great combination. And so far, David, it has been.
It really has. And the ability to throw the ball out of the strike zone and just miss, down and up, is something you really have to work on. A lot of pitchers don't practice that in the bullpen in their side sessions. They practice throwing strikes, hitting the corners. A lot of times practicing throwing pitches out of the zone just as important.
One's popped up. Strong sun that you can see. Gregorius shading his eyes. He puts it away for the first out. Why don't we check out the Yankee defense, which is presented by our good friends at Geico. In the outfield, you've got Gardner, Ellsbury, and Chris Young, left to right. Infield, it's Headley, Gregorius, Rev Snyder, and Teixeira, third to first. McCann behind the plate, and Eovaldi is on the mound. Here's the lone all-star representative for the Red Sox. It's Brock Holt. Pop up, shallow center field, and that's going to dunk in for a base hit in front of Ellsbury. And that extends Holt's hitting streak to 11 straight. That'll bring up Xander Bogaerts, and that will bring us to our Chrysler hitter scouting report.
Xander Bogaerts is maybe the best shortstop in the big leagues, or certainly in the American League coming in. He's got a 9-game hitting streak, very hot, hitting .395 during that streak. He's a clutch performer. He leads the Sox with 7 game-winning RBIs. And as I said, elite shortstop, top of the list. He leads in hits, 94, doubles, 19, and RBIs, 42. So he plays good defense. He's swinging the bat and has some pop in that bat as well.
Kind of odd, David. You look at Brock Holt's numbers, and then you look at Bogaerts, and you wonder why Bogart didn't get selected. Now, I know that Holt certainly gives Ned Yost a player that can play everywhere, but you also have to look at the players that deserve it. And you know, Bogaerts was part of that final 5 voting, and he did not do well. He finished 4th, and he's not going to the All-Star game, and Brock Holt is.
I would have picked Bogaerts first, certainly, but Brock Holt, I think, is such a fan favorite. The way he plays the game, plays all over the field. Bogaerts has done more damage with his bat, though, than Brock Holt. Doubles and RBIs.
He's got 42 ribbies to Holt's 22. The batting average is, you know, within 10 points, give or take. But Bogart said all the right things. I thank the people of Boston. They were behind me, and I'm glad that there was so much interest around the country in voting for the Final 5, and didn't say the wrong thing about anything. He handled it very well. And you kind of got a feel of Bogart's handle on everything, and how he is graceful in pressure situations. 2013 World Series, he was such a big part of it. He was a baby. He was playing third base out of position, and he was a big part of that run.
Really infused some life into their lineup and got them over the hump. Last year struggled a bit. His first full year playing every day at shortstop.
He grew up really idolizing Derek Jeter. That's where he wears number 2. And he was part of the ceremony last year when it finished up, presenting Derek with some of the Red Sox gifts, and that was a huge deal for Xander Bogaerts. Line drive, foul. Oh, what a backhanded stab. Very nice play.
Nothing to it. Business as usual. Not an easy play.
Didn't milk it, nothing. Great. One-two. Off the glove of McCann. And Holt will move to second. That'll be a wild pitch. And now Holt in scoring position.
McCann's going to have to get used to this hard splitter at 89 miles an hour. And not enough room to get over and block it. So the best thing McCann can do is try to pick it. Ricochet off the glove. You can see the frustration, but really tough chance there for McCann. That shows you right there how hard Eovaldi's throwing that splitter now. He used to throw it earlier in the year about 85. Now 89 and 90.
Bogart's really battling.
You know, Michael, the splitter's different than a changeup. You know, you and I have talked a lot about the differential in velocity between fastball and changeup. Optimally, you'd like it to be about 10 miles an hour. Not so with the splitter. The harder you throw the splitter, the better off you are. You get later break on it, more swings and misses.
And it's still enough of a differentiation that you can get a change of speed swing and miss too. Tapped out to second. Ref Snyder guts down Bogarts as Holt moves to third. Just a beautiful day. Now, it wasn't that beautiful for Ryan Ruocco. You know, we saw the youngster getting lathered up on the field. It's hot, especially if you have a tie on. But a good day for baseball. Here's Pablo Sandoval. One and 0.
From what I remember on these types of games, Michael, the last game before the break, there's a lot of distractions going on. Players have plans. Some guys got to get to the All-Star team. Some guys are taking a vacation. Bags are packed.
Tap back to Eovaldi. He will work out of trouble. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left. Speaking of the All-Star game, Mark Teixeira is going to Cincinnati. And in just a moment, he's going to step up to the plate and lead off the second inning. 0-0 on Yes. Off against Wade Miley. Miley, 28 years old, and he deals to Teixeira a strike. Miley got off to a very, very tough start this year. High ERA, struggling, and it all came to a head. He got taken out of a game after 4 innings. Now, it was the end of 4. He walked to the dugout, and John Farrell said, "All right, that's it for you." He had given up 5 runs and 9 hits against the Orioles in Baltimore. And Miley said, quote, "I lost my mind," and started screaming at Farrell in full view of cameras. And they got into it. They went down the runway, got into it some more. Farrell said all the right things that night. "I want guys that are upset. I want competitors." And then the next day, after thinking about it, he said, "That's just unacceptable." There's a base hit for Teixeira. He said, "I can't have players reacting like that, especially in full view." He said, "That's unacceptable." And I told Wade that. Miley apologized. And David, sometimes you need that snap. It's since that point, Miley has won 3 of his last 4 decisions and pitched much better.
Yes, and admitted his mistake. That was ugly. In the dugout in full view. I've been there. I've certainly lost my cool a few times on the baseball diamond, so I can relate to that. It's the aftermath that was handled fairly well. As you said, that guy handled it well. The manager, and then, of course, Miley admitting his mistake, diffused it.
Outside to Young. And the Red Sox made an investment in Miley after acquiring him. 3-year, $19.25 million. Bought out some arbitration years. But the Red Sox have missed on some of their investments. They also signed Rick Porcello to a 4-year, $82.5 million extension. And he has had a dreadful season. Nothing they could have expected. David, that's why they're in last place. Sure, they're within striking distance, but they have not had a good first half.
Well, that's without a doubt the truth. That's why all the rumors about trading for a big pitcher, and a lot of baseball pundits think they match up well with the Phillies in a deal for Cole Hamels.
Popped up. Brock Holt called off by Victorino, who makes the play. Time for today's conversation, brought to you by Toyota. Toyota is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. What are your overall thoughts of the Yankee season heading into the All-Star break, we asked. Many responses. Vin Ibanao. More optimism than previous 2 seasons. Guys are healthy, putting up big numbers all around. So far, so good. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. 47-40, the Yankee record, and sure there have been blips, and Girardi was asked today, why is this team been so schizophrenic, up and down, hot streaks and looking bad? He said, I think it's a product of the fact that there's such parity in baseball. He said, in the games that we've lost, we've been sloppy in the field, we've given out too many outs. But with all of that, and the injury to Ellsbury, injury to Miller, this is me talking now, not him, 47-40 in first place is not a bad place to be.
Not at all. And when you consider last year's offensive output over the entire season, they really came up short, among the worst in the league, and this year among the best. So offensively, a huge turnaround, which makes for much more exciting baseball just to watch on a day in and day out basis. Joe Girardi touched on it, Michael. The one thing the Yankees did not anticipate was the poor defensive play in the first half. Yep. They really thought that they were improved defensively.
High fly ball, left field. Turning and looking is De Aza. See ya! Into the seats over the monster. A 2-run home run for Brian McCann. And the Yankees lead 2-0. Going the other way. Over the monster. 14th home run of the year, now has 55 ribbies.
McCann has always been able to hang in there on lefties so well, and here's the case in point. Just keeping that shoulder in and driving this ball the other way, up over the monster. Easily out of here. And there's your case in point. These Yankees, the Bombers, are back. Nobody predicted that in spring training.
Headley takes outside. Good Q&A by Steve Serby in the New York Post today with McCann, who talked so much about how he loves playing here and obviously was disappointed in last year. He said, but everything feels good this year. He loves the intensity in New York. He said, people don't understand what a difference it makes. He said, to play a last place team on a Tuesday night and have a lot of people in the seats. He said, it's not like that everywhere. He said, and this organization gives you such facilities to succeed, everything you need to succeed. And he said, I'm so happy that I'm here.
Yeah, you know, one of the biggest mistakes made by opposing players when they come to New York is all they see is New York City. And, you know, I'm a fan of the city, Michael. I've lived there for a long time. But there are such nice areas within the New York metropolitan area to live.
Headley down on strikes.
several choices. I mean, Westchester, Greenwich, New Jersey, Long Island. I mean, so many areas where there's really good neighborhoods to raise your kids. And I think that's probably the biggest mistake opposing players make. And I think Brian McCann referred to that, how I think he lives in Rye and how much he enjoys that area. Just a beautiful area to live.
And he wouldn't say that, he struggled last year because of the adjustment. He didn't want to make any excuses. I just didn't have a good year. He had a good second half, but he's had a good first half this year. Didi Gregorius with a fly ball to center. Betts is there, and that will do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs. The Teixeira single, and then Brian McCann goes monster the other way. It's his 14th homer of the year when it lands. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. On the Red Sox team scouting report brought to you by Mohegan Sun, full of action, full of possibilities, full of life.
Well, when you look at the schedule, they have a very favorable July schedule, and of the 16 games remaining in July, 9 of them at home, so they can get a good read before the trade deadline. And they got to figure out the mix, the outfield mix. A couple guys in AAA. Is Hanley Ramirez going to play left field? What to do with Napoli? Big Poppy played first base a little bit earlier. There's a little confusion on the mix, and they got to figure that out. And of course, they need to add pitching at the deadline. Will they pull the trigger for Cole Hamels or not, or somebody like that?
It's kind of interesting that including today, David, they play the Yankees 11 times, so the Yankees will be 15% of their remaining schedule. The Yankees will have a big say on whether or not they get back in this. Yesterday's Red Sox win snapped a 5-game winning streak this year by the Yankees against the Red Sox. Red Sox have won 5 of 6, 10 of 13, and made themselves somewhat relevant. They sit 5.5 games out. Tampa Bay, which have been struggling so much, they're looking to sweep Houston. They're up 2-1 in the 4th inning at Tropicana Field.
Houston now really facing a surging Anaheim Angels team.
Two.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, rather. Mike Trout just once again, I mean, right at the top of the list, and the best player in the game. Pujols has had a resurgence, and ironically, in the home run hitting contest in the All-Star game, the old dog's going to compete. Pujols, and Trout declined.
Fly ball right field. Young makes the play near the pesky pole for the first out. Ballpark opened in 1912, and it was the Red Sox beating the Highlanders, the Yankees, in the first Major League game at Fenway, following 2 rainouts by a score of 7-6 in 11 innings. And future Hall of Famer Tris Speaker had the game-winning hit for the Red Sox, an RBI single. That was April 20th, 1912.
The beauty of Fenway is obviously the atmosphere surrounding Fenway. Fans really do arrive early and stay late. I drove here myself this morning, Michael, and several fans got here early and said, okay, we got 2 hours before the gates open. Let's go here. Let's do this. Plenty of opportunity to have choices before the game.
Well, they actually close Yawkey Way to vehicular traffic, and it's just fans going to different stores, and Red Sox set up booths and stuff like that for food. Nesson does their pre- and post-game show out there. And they try to make it a party atmosphere. But one of the few things that probably hasn't changed is the visitors' clubhouse. It is probably the worst visitors' clubhouse in baseball. Just no room. And the Red Sox have made a lot of improvements in the facility, and I guess wisely they haven't done that. And this is what we were talking about with Yawkey Way, but they haven't improved the visitors' clubhouse. Why should you? It could be home court advantage.
That's right. That's the last thing on your list. Hard to have a private conversation. A lot of overheard quotes over the years here at Fenway. There are more anonymous quotes out of this clubhouse, both of these clubhouses, than anywhere. You think you're having a private conversation and the guy across the room can hear you.
The 0-2. Now where Joe Girardi and Rob Thompson were standing in the dugout just now, there's a runway that goes from the dugout right behind them to the clubhouse. And when you walk through that runway, it's on rickety boards and the clackety-clack, and you can actually sense Babe Ruth walked here, Lou Gehrig walked here, so many greats of the game. It's an amazing, you almost feel the ghost.
Some days when it rains, you can smell them too. More bumped heads in the dugout too. Low bridge.
It was definitely built for smaller people. The Ayers are really battling here. And the 1-2. 2-2. And I would think, David, that warming up in that bullpen's got to be a little intimidating because the fans are right on top of you.
Yes, it really is. There's no place like it. You really get challenged. Your concentration gets challenged because your whole family tree gets brought up by one heckler or another.
.31 pitches so far for Eovaldi. We're in the bottom of the second. It's 2-0 Yankees on McCann's home run. And this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And De Aza wins that battle with a single out. Now, David was mentioning they've got to figure out the outfield situation. Daniel Nava's going to come off the DL as well. You've got Victorino, who really doesn't have an everyday spot. And they spend so much money on two kids from Cuba. Rusney Castillo was given 7 years, $72.5 million. And he's only played 36 games in the big leagues. He's down in the minors right now. And then Yoan Moncada, who they won the bidding war this spring with several teams, including the Yankees. He's still an A-ball, hitting .261 with 1 home run in 142 ribbies. And he's had to get really hot to get to .261. So what are those players going to mean to this franchise?
It's another example of how hard it is to project and scout 19-year-olds. Kids right out of high school, especially one from Cuba who really you didn't get a chance to see or scout very much at all. Throw Jackie Bradley Jr. in that mix, who just seems to eat up AAA pitching, hitting over 300 again this year in AAA, but can't seem to crack the lineup here. And De Aza was picked up on waivers and from the Orioles, is ahead of the curve on him.
And David, it's because all of those bodies are there that you figure if the Red Sox do want to dive into the deep end and make a deal for Cole Hamels, they probably have the young talent to do it. Do they want to do that? Do they want to throw that money and those resources at Hamels if they're not good enough to win? That wouldn't be just for this year, but that's something they have to decide. Just missed. 99 miles an hour. Swing and a miss. Goes off speed. Victorino way out in front. We told you it opened in 1912. It actually opened the same week that the Titanic went down. And it doesn't look that much different from outside. Now, there aren't that many horses. There are some cops that ride on horses, but the front is still the same. That wasn't Brett Gardner, by the way. Thrice warned.
It's an underutilized word in today's.
We've got to get it back.
Language.
Thrice. First game ever played here, not major league game, was Tuesday, April 9th. Red Sox and Harvard. Snow flurries. Red Sox won 2-0 in a 7-inning game. Today's a lot different than that day. Count 0-2 on Travis Shaw. Travis picked up his first big league hit on Wednesday against the Miami Marlins. Napoli, again, not playing. Ortiz battling an illness. So Shaw getting the start at first. So a single by De Aza after a long at bat. And Eovaldi's pitch count climbing. He's at 40 now in the second inning. But there are 4 days off, so everybody in the bullpen's available. Joe Girardi also announced the rotation for the 3 games against Seattle. It'll be Tanaka, Pineda, and Ceci. Then Eovaldi and Nova on Tuesday and Wednesday. And he said he went with Ceci because Seattle has a lot of left-handed bats in their lineup. Snap throw the first. Very tough to run on Eovaldi. Hard-throwing righties usually are not quick to the plate or with good moves, and he is both of those. Fly ball, right center, drifting over Ellsbury, makes the play, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 2 at venerable Fenway Park. It's 2-0 Yanks. In the morning, he's testing out his strained right hamstring, trying to make a case to be activated today. He's been on the DL since June 24th. They announced after this running tryout that he will be activated off the DL on Friday in Anaheim. And that's the injury report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. Audi A3 scoreboard 2-0. Yankees over the Sox. Ref Snyder swings and misses, 1-1. He was 0 for 3 yesterday. Looked like he might have had his first hit, but a nice play in right field took that away. Handled everything cleanly at second. His family was here to watch his debut. Also admitted to some nerves, and why wouldn't you be nervous? Hit .290 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre with 7 homers, 37 ribbies.
Well, he's a quality at-bat type of a hitter. You noticed his high on-base percentage, high contact. His walks were up this year, strikeouts were down.
Grounded to short. Bogarts gets Ref Snyder. 1 away. Now the Yankees have not committed to any long-term look at Ref Snyder. And what Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, kept saying yesterday, we try to win games. And with 2 lefties for the Red Sox, we felt bringing Ref Snyder up would help us win these games, which almost makes you believe he might get sent down after these 2 games, because you've got Brendan Ryan coming up the DL as well. I mean, there's a chance he'll stick, but it doesn't mean because he was called up he's now part of the second base situation. As Ellsbury fouls it back.
You could see, with Brendan Ryan coming back, it does sort of set the roster up for Ref Snyder to stay. You could platoon him and Drew or mix and match however you want, and then Brendan Ryan can play all over the infield as your legitimate backup. It'd be nice to see Ref Snyder get an extended chance to see what he can do with the bat. He's clearly improved defensively.
The question is, David, who leaves the 25-man roster for Brendan Ryan if it's not Ref Snyder? I guess Petit would be
the guy, yes.
Would be the most likely.
It just matches up better in my mind. Ref Snyder, a much better offensive bat than any of the other potential candidates to stay as a backup infielder. Brendan Ryan's a defensive whiz, so he can play third, give Headley a break. He can also obviously play short or second, and even a little first base. So Brendan Ryan's a good backup defensively. And Ref Snyder and Drew can handle the duties at second. And of course, Drew can also slide over to short. It seems to match up better for me. You get a right-handed bat that's a threat on the roster. I think one of the things the Yankees thought Jose Pirela would give them is that offensive punch, but never really got regular playing time, didn't get enough at-bats, and kind of struggled.
That one's chopped to first. Shaw takes it to the bag, 2 outs.
Potential difference between Ref Snyder and Pirela, per se, is that Ref Snyder gives you more quality at-bats. He will get on base. He will work a walk. Pirela more of a free swinger, very aggressive.
Well, the Yankees have some time to make those decisions. First game back will be Friday at the stadium against Seattle.
recent memory, Michael, I don't think we've ever been more familiar with the AAA roster than we have this year. I mean, really keyed in on it. A lot of moves up and down, obviously in the bullpen on the shuttle.
I was told in spring training by a couple people that the 25-man roster, you should look at it almost like an amoeba. It's going to move certain ways. It could be like a 29-man roster. They were really going to utilize the people at AAA, and they've done that. They really have done a good job bringing people up and down, maximizing the 40-man, putting people on the 60-day. They do a very good job of that.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's going to keep going in that direction, and you get a little bit of a clue from Joe Girardi recently, and that the third time through the order, say with somebody like Sabathia or even Eovaldi at times, or just about any pitcher, Girardi's going to go to the bullpen.
And that's tipped into the glove of Hannigan, and Gardner is down on strikes. The Yankees go down in order, 1-2-3. Go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Bombers. Guys, All-Star game is Tuesday in Cincy, and that'll be on Fox. And then Seattle comes into town. See Robinson Cano against the Yankees. Night game, 2-day games. Another day off on Monday, kind of an odd quirk in the schedule. And then the O's come to town for 3. And then the Yankees take off from Minnesota. Audi A3 scoreboard, it's 2-0 Yankees. Hannigan takes a strike. Bill Lee, the spaceman, gets a big hand from the crowd. That seems like a guy that you would get along with.
Yeah, he hasn't changed a bit, right? Loads of personality. Although Greg Nettles might beg to differ.
Yes. Grounded up the middle. Gregorius snares, but can't make a play.
Well, good effort. Would have taken a perfect play. You got to dive, you got to field it and get up. And with Hannigan running, would have had a shot. But can't get the handle right away, so that ends any chance.
Now, we've talked a lot when David and I do the games together. I mean, the pure hatred between the Yankees and the Royals back in 76, 77, 78. And it might have even been stronger between the Yankees and the Red Sox back then. They simply didn't like each other. Betts grounds one past a diving Ref Snyder into right field as Hannigan moves to second. A single for Betts. And I remember, David, I hosted a luncheon where old-time Yankees and Red Sox were there. And one of the guys got up and said, Carlton Fisk didn't like Thurman. Bill Lee didn't like Nettles. He said, and everybody hated Lou. But when they had fights, they had fights. I think that Nettles separated Bill Lee's shoulder.
He did. Body slammed him top of home plate.
Here's Brock Holt. He singled in the first. Red Sox first and second. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. Yankees holding a 2-0 lead on McCann's 2-run home run in the second. There's a strike. Let's see how nasty it would become. Here's Piniella knocking down Fisk. And it didn't just end there.
Yeah, Fisk tried to spike him right in the neck after he got bowled over. It's not your average push and shove sumo wrestling baseball fight right there. The schedule as McCann's going to go out and talk to Eovaldi. And an important part here with nobody out. You got an 0-2 count, first and second. But the unbalanced schedule. The Yankees and Red Sox play 19 times a year. And a lot of those games are left, as you mentioned before. But the reason baseball wanted an unbalanced schedule, the biggest part, so these two teams right here could play 19 times in some of the major markets. A lot of people saw that as a competitive balance equalizer, especially in the American League East. Now, the Tampa Bay Rays would beg to differ with that as a small market team and revenue challenged, but revenue sharing certainly has gotten better. Central Revenue Fund has grown. Advanced media by Major League Baseball done a wonderful job. State of the art. Other industries are looking to Major League Baseball for that technology now.
Swing and a tip held on to by McCann. A big strikeout of Brock Holt.
.98 miles an hour. Down. Gets Holt to chase, as you see. That pitch is below the strike zone. And good job by McCann holding on to the foul tip.
Here's Xander Bogaerts. Breaking ball for strike. Well, he's the guy the Red Sox want up in these spots, hitting .389 with runners in scoring position. Rounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Hannigan rounds third. He will score. Moving to third is Betts. Bogaerts squeezes one through the middle for an RBI single, and the Red Sox on the board. It's 2-1 Yanks.
It is remarkable how many of these type of singles that Eovaldi gives up. Almost snags it. 3 or 4 hops, just well placed. Seeing eye right up the middle. Obviously upset with himself. He had a shot to stab that before it got by. talk a lot about all the hits that Eovaldi gives up. A lot of them are singles. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. His extra base hit percentage really relatively very low. Just a lot of singles and a lot of C9 ground balls like that.
Here's Sandoval, grounded back to Eovaldi in the first. Yankees looking for the double play here. First and third, one out. Powers the fastball by him, 0-1.
Sandoval, a candidate for a double play, does not run well. Eovaldi with that new hard splitter. Good matchup here.
He's below the American League average of 54% getting a runner in from third with less than 2 outs. He's done it 8 of 16 times.
Percentage surprising, right?
Yeah.
54% on average. That's about the rate year in and year out. One of the old cliches in baseball is get him over and get him in, meaning man on second, less than 1 out, move him over, bunt him over, get him to third. Well, the get him in part, just a little better than 50% on average, year in and year out. Good spot right here for that hard splitter. McCann's got to get down and block it, though.
One, two.
Sandoval, as we said, a very free swinger. And this is the part that most pitchers don't practice on. If you could throw one neck high, he might swing it.
He rips that one to right field. It's a base hit. That'll tie the game as Bet scores. Bogarts moves to third. It's an RBI single for Sandoval, and the game is tied at 2. Just the 30th rookie of the year for Sandoval.
Eovaldi really made a lot of good pitches up to this point, and this is not one of them. Just really gives in. Little rolling slider. Never really gets in on a free swinging Sandoval, and he just laces it. With a free swinger there, you had a couple of options. Down in the dirt or way up and out of the strike zone. Much too good of a pitch to that hitter right there.
You can see his emotion. He has struggled so much after coming over on a big free agent deal. But he gets a big hit there. Sandoval does to tie the game at 2. Rothschild has his say with Eovaldi. It is kind of odd. You're in a big situation, David, and really you essentially went to your third pitch.
Yeah, that was a little curious. If he can bury that slider way down and in on Sandoval's back leg, I'm sure that's what McCann had in mind. Keys to pitching, knowing when to throw strikes and when you don't have to.
Here's Hanley Ramirez. Fouls it back.
You got 2 strikes. You got a chance to really get a ground ball or punch him out. And you can see this is kind of rolling slider, 86 miles an hour.
I wonder, David, if he was getting too cute because he obviously knows the history between the two of them. Sandoval's now 14 for 19 against Eovaldi. So trying to invent something.
Yeah, that's understandable. You try to come up with a different look. It's 100 miles an hour up and out of the zone is a pretty good choice. One of the good things about Eovaldi, though, is he does not shake off. He will follow McCann's lead. Rarely will he shake his head and change the pitch. So very coachable, very leadable. this inning's kind of a microcosm of his career, though. A couple of not so hard hit balls to find holes, giving up singles, and one mistake. Valdi really came out the first 2 innings throwing really well, mixing all his pitches. A little bit snake bit this inning, looking for a way out.
Nice pick there by McCann. You've got to have faith in your catcher if that's going to be a part of your arsenal.
Yes. And not an easy one, as McCann has excellent hands.
So now 3-2. First and third, one man out.
And giving those signs in front of home plate to let the middle infielders know if Sandoval goes, is he throwing through? Bogart's on third. A trick double steal play, very possible.
Runner goes and the ball fouled away. This is Eovaldi's first 3-ball count. He's thrown a lot of pitches. We're in the third and he has 63. Rounded up the middle, a base hit. Bogarts will score. Sandoval moves to second. It's an RBI single for Ramirez, and the Red Sox lead 3-2.
Valdi goes off speed. Slider. Ramirez right back up the box. As he has provided the right-handed thump that the Red Sox were looking for when they acquired him. And once again, of course, it finds a hole. But good hitting from Ramirez. He hit that ball well.
Here is Alejandro De Aza, who singled in the second. And some action in the Yankee bullpen now.
It's like Adam Warren, the righty, getting up. The Red Sox bunching hits together off of Eovaldi here.
One 1-0. 3-2 Red Sox. So they've overcome the 2-run home run by McCann, and there is one. One and one. Yankees won on Friday night, the Red Sox last night. Now the Red Sox lead this 3-2. Sandoval at second, Ramirez is at first. Still one man out. We're in the bottom of the third. De Aza, the seventh man to come to the plate. Chops slowly to Gregorius. No one to throw to at second, and he makes the throw to first. to get Diaz, and the runners move up.
Who gets the ground ball? It's just hit too softly. As Gregorius gets caught up, you see his feet get caught up, and now he's got to readjust and fire it over to first. You see this throw brought to you on Yesmo, your Mercedes-Benz dealers, and another pick by Teixeira. Teixeira puts on a clinic on how to do that technically. Low to high with the glove.
There's Victorino, a big at bat in this game with runners on second and third. It could spell the end for Eovaldi and also pad the Red Sox lead. So he's going to go right after Victorino, who struck out in the second. Oh, 0-2.
You know, if you look at the numbers, this particular inning really says a lot about Eovaldi and his style. I mean, a strike throwing machine. He's got 74% strikes, 51 out of 69, but yet he's given up 7 hits. So the ability to expand the zone when you do get ahead is one of the keys for Eovaldi to learn. For every pitcher, it's always the big separator.
28 pitches this inning for a robust 70, and it's just the third. But on the one day that it doesn't really matter that much, you have 4 days rest ahead of you. The whole bullpen can go. Grounded to short. Lost his footing, but saved by Teixeira, who picks another one to retire Victorino. Didi Gregorius, his foot gave out, but not the throw. It's 3-2 Red Sox. Long way. 1951, Allie Reynolds no-hits the Indians 1-0 in Cleveland. It's the first of 2 no-hitters for him that season. When we go to the 4th inning, Yankees trail 3-2 on the Lincoln scoreboard. A-Rod will lead off against Wade Miley. David, in the third inning, ground balls thrice went up the middle and really hurt Eovaldi. I mean, they weren't scalded, but those were big hits for them.
They were. And he was ahead in the count, too. It is remarkable to see how many hits he gives up to, on the ground that find holes. As we said before, it's not like he's giving up homers. A lot of damage, a lot of extra base hits, a lot of singles.
Yep.
That's how he leads the league in hits given up. Some of that is the luck factor. Some of that is the ability, his inability at times to finish hitters off. We've stated he's made a lot of progress in that regard over his last several starts, and that splitter is getting better and better, and he's thrown some good ones here again today.
A-Rod again has worked the count 3-2, couple of foul balls as he leads off here in the fourth.
But it is mystifying to look at a guy throwing the ball 100 miles an hour with 90-mile-an-hour splitters, and he's given up 7 hits and 3 runs in 3 innings.
Ground ball, left side. And there is one away. Teixeira singled and scored on McCann's home run in the second. And it's obvious, David, Mark Teixeira is going to Cincinnati for the All-Star game because of 22 homers and 62 ribbies. But in that inning alone, you see how valuable he is to the Yankee defense. And I mean, this is a defense that's been subpar, well below what they expected it to be. And I think conservatively, you could say that he saved them 5 to 8 errors this season,
without a doubt.
To that inning,
and Chase Headley's had some issues early this year.
Right to Shaw. I mean, here's the last play of the third.
And that ball hit 15 feet in front of him on the grass. So that's probably a little bit of an easier chance for Teixeira there. Plenty of time to read the hop way out in front of you.
David, I could be way too conservative with 8 errors saved. I mean, it might even be more than that. He's done a great job defensively. Count 1-0 on Young. And he grounds one to Bogarts. And Miley comes back with another 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 8 Yankees in a row. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. Red Sox 3, Yankees 2. Hashtag yes, Data Strong fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Travis Shaw leads off. As you see the Lincoln scoreboard with the Red Sox up 3-2. A beautiful shot of this gorgeous city. I'm wondering, David, that was an 11-pitch 1-2-3 inning from Miley. How much does this take out of Eovaldi after a really long inning in the bottom of the third, coming right back out there?
Well, that's a great point, Michael. It is one of the challenges for pitchers who have long innings. And that's why you hear the old cliche, the shutdown inning, being so important on the other side. Miley just had a really good shutdown inning to get Eovaldi right back out there. One of the things I've noticed is you see right there an 0-2 pitch, tries to throw a fastball. It really had no purpose. It was kind of up and out. And Eovaldi's ability to move hitters' feet, to pitch inside, kind of been missing. I'm not sure if he's leery because he throws so hard. He's afraid he's going to hit somebody or maybe hurt somebody. A lot of talk about him meeting Nolan Ryan recently, his idol, growing up in the same town. Nolan Ryan was famous for the bow tie. He was never afraid to knock people off the plate, to move their feet. I'm not suggesting Eovaldi start throwing bow ties, but his ability to pitch inside when he's ahead in the count, move hitters right at the belt, move their feet, very important.
That one is lined to right field. Young is there. A lot of great pitchers have mean streaks. They don't want to hurt people, but I mean, Roger Clemens had a mean streak. Bob Gibson had a mean streak.
Absolutely. Changing the eye level works side to side as well as up and down. A lot of times you hear pitchers and pitching coaches talk about change the eye level, move it up and move it down, but out and in is just as important.
Pitch to Hannigan is outside.
A lot of times I'd have to talk with Mel Stottlemyre, the great Yankee pitching coach, pitcher. Inducted to Monument Park recently in one of the most emotional ceremonies I think I've ever seen. I wish Mel all the best. Hope he's feeling well. But the talk we always had with him was the ability to throw your fastball in off the plate for effect, especially when you're ahead in the count. When you're giving up ground balls up the middle, like we've seen from Eovaldi, on pitches away, generally that means the hitters are too comfortable. They're able to reach out over the plate and drive the ball back up the middle on all your pitches away. That's a sure sign that you need to keep them honest in and make them aware that you will throw a fastball inside.
Grounded to third. Tough hop. Headley stays with it. 2 outs.
Eovaldi is a strike throwing machine here today. 73% strikes, 59 strikes on 81 total. No walks. Barely even close to a walk. A little bit unlucky on some ground ball hits. Haven't seen one pitch inside to a right-handed batter all day yet. Two quick outs here in the bottom of the fourth to right the ship, though. Pitch count up to 81.
Here's Mookie Betts. Breaking ball. A little bit of the jelly leg. Drops in for a strike. 60 strikes, 22 balls. 2-2. Ref Snyder shades up the middle. Teixeira way off the bag at first for the righty swinging Betts. And the pitch. 98 outside. Tip into the glove of McCann. A nice bounce back inning for Eovaldi as he retires the Red Sox in order 1-2-3. We're going to the fifth at Fenway. 3-2 Red Sox. Let him go. The Mets picked him up again, went down to the minor leagues, played very well in Vegas, and has a 3-home run day. You see the Bigelow T scoreboard with the Yankees trailing 3-2 as we go to the fifth. Brian McCann is the Yankee offense, and he takes a pitch outside. Brian had a 2-run home run in the second inning. That's been Wade Miley's mistake. Red Sox surrendered Ruby De La Rosa and Alan Webster in the deal that got them Wade Miley. Driven the other way again. De Aza turns and looks, and it's going to be off the wall this time. Hustling to second is McCann, and he makes it with a double. So a double and a home run for McCann, and the Yankees now have the tying run in scoring position.
Well, that big wall sure is inviting. McCann thinking that way. Second time he's driven the ball very well to left field here. This one I thought maybe had a chance, just lost a little altitude, and McCann's got to hustle. The hard slide in for a leadoff double.
Here's Chase Headley, who struck out in the second inning. Top of the fifth, 3-2 Red Sox. McCann leads off second. Pitch inside. 2-1. Gregorius on deck. Three for 28 since June 5th with runners in scoring position. A couple of games of note. Tampa Bay 4, Houston 3. That's in the 6th inning at the Trop. Kansas City all over Toronto. 3rd inning at 6-0 Royals. And the Nationals lead the Orioles 3-1 in the 6th. And that has been a very hard-fought series, Beltway series at Camden Yards. So Headley, who struck out in the second, has worked the count to 3-2. And the pitch. Grounded up the middle and grabbed there by Holt. And that saves a run. Maybe. Don't know if the spotter would have waved home McCann, but certainly any thought the Yankees had of doing that, it stopped when Holt stopped this ground ball from going to center.
Well, turnabout is fair play, as the Red Sox have had a few of these types of hits today. And now the Yankees playing catch up. I think he might have scored if it gets through, because it took about 3 or 4 hops before it got almost to the outfield grass, and Holt, good range, cut it off.
Hannigan goes out and talks with Miley. Everybody, well, the shortstop and second baseman join in. Sandoval and Shaw keep their positions. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Oh, they called a balk on Miley. Angel Hernandez calls the balk, and the game is tied at 3.
Miley is livid. Very unusual for a home plate umpire to make a balk call on a pickoff to first.
What do you see here, Dave?
That's the mystery of it, is what did the home plate umpire see? As not a discernible step to first base. If you're looking at the 45-degree line angle that a left-handed pitcher has to step at least on or in front of, in other words, if he steps too close to home plate and crosses that 45-degree line, then that's a balk. But that's hard for the home plate umpire to see. Generally, it's a first base umpire who would see that kind of a call and make the balk call.
Fly ball, shallow center. Betts makes the play. Well, David and I were sitting up here, and we were writing our lineup down in the book. And I was writing home plate umpire, and I turned to David. I said, "Well, Angel Hernandez will be involved, because that's just the type of umpire he is. He gets involved somehow." He's involved right now as the game's tied at 3. Here's Rob Refsnyder looking for his first big league hit, and it would be a big one as Headley leads off second.
Sometimes umpires will get clued in before a game or tipped off by another umpire. Umpires have their scouting reports as well. And hey, this guy's got a balk move. Watch out for Miley.
Chopped back to Miley, and they have Headley in a rundown. And he gets tagged out. Refsnyder takes first on the fielder's choice.
Miley really taking advantage of the rookie with off speed down and out of the zone. It's the comebacker. Well played. Execute quickly, not allowing Refsnyder to get to second base. That's the way you do it. Run at the runner, give it up.
Here's Ellsbury. 2 ground balls to first against Miley. One and 0.
Refsnyder does have some speed. Potential that if he gets in the right count, he might take a shot.
Now, I certainly don't want to fall into the fallacy of the predetermined outcome, David, but that shallow fly does not score McCann. And the comebacker is probably an inning-ending double play, so that's how big the ball call was. If everything played out the same way, and it probably doesn't, but it's fun to think about it.
Valid point. The ball call is very integral in this inning. Very unusual for a home plate umpire to make that call.
That one is looped to left field. Will it stay fair? Nope. Sandoval can't get there.
Nice effort from Sandoval with a little eye wash on the end of it.
If I saw that attempt on Twitter, I would favorite it. That one gets away from Hannigan, but not far enough.
Little showmanship.
It's the hottest day of the summer so far in Boston. Not a cloud in the sky at Fenway Park. Another sellout crowd for the Yankees and the Red Sox. Final game of the first half of the season. And that one is lined into center field. Right there is Betts. Played it beautifully for the final out. Yankees tie the score. 1 run, 2 hits, a balk. And 1 man left. We're halfway through. It's 3-3. For exceptional summer offers, visit CadillacTristate.com. By Heineken, open your world. And by the Acura, it's that kind of summer event. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning on the Big LT scoreboard. It's 3-3, and Brock Holt will lead off against Eovaldi. 1-0. Now, we told you that Holt has started at seven different positions this year. But he is going to the All-Star game, but he's not the first Red Sox player to gain national attention as a man of many positions. You have to go back to 1950. Red Sox had a player by the name of Billy Goodwin. Check that, Billy Goodman, who played 5 positions and finished the season with a .354 average. And that led the American League. But it wasn't good enough to win the MVP. He finished second to the Yankees' Phil Rizzuto in 1950. And the Yankees went on to beat the Phillies in the World Series. I just think, David, those type of players like a Brock Holt, so valuable now as the bullpens get bigger, the bench gets shorter, and you could have a guy who could play every position. Pretty good.
No doubt about it, and it's only going to get more important. As you see the trend now, as we talked about Girardi, and really in Tampa Bay, the Rays, the way they've handled their starting rotation was take them out early, that third time through. You've got the extra relievers in the bullpen. You've got a shuttle going with AAA.
Saw Chris Capuano warming up.
You know, we can argue all day long about old school. We're babying these pitchers nowadays. Let them pitch longer. Well, it's just not relevant anymore. I mean, that cow has left the barn. It's just a different game. You can spend your time moaning about how come the pitchers can't throw more, or you can adapt to what is reality on the ground. And reality on the ground is that bullpens are going to be more and more important. They're going to get used more and more often, and starters are going to pitch fewer and fewer innings. Especially when you look in the minor league level, the way they are being conditioned and protected. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Luis Severino, the top prospect for the Yankees, a lot of times comes out after 5 innings. Unless he's extra sharp, he's been able to pitch maybe 7 innings a few times, only when his pitch count is under control and he really dominates the game.
John Smoltz said the other day that pitch counts and innings limits on youngsters in the minor leagues do them a disservice, he said, because they've got to learn how to work out of jams. They've had to learn how to get by if their pitch count is high. He said by doing that to them in the minors, they come up in the majors and they are an unfinished product.
It's certainly valid. The problem is, it's not going to change. You know, that's just old school barking. In my mind, new school is, hey, these are commodities. These pitchers are too valuable. A guy like Luis Severino, the top prospect for the Yankees, is too valuable to mess around with. They're going to err on the side of caution.
Fly ball right field. Young angling himself against the sun. The second out. Slug your way to the home run derby crown and master the free award-winning game millions are playing. Action-packed, insanely fun, and you get to play in Great American Ballpark, home of the 2015 All-Star Game. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby free on the App Store and Google Play. Talking to Al Leiter the other day on my radio show, David, and he said that he's talked to a lot of people that are into the analytics part of the game and sabermetricians, and they would like to see 10 guys in the bullpen and 3 starters, where the starters just give you 3 innings, go as hard as you can, and you pitch every 3 days. He said it could come to that because relievers are so valuable right now.
They're so valuable, and relievers are so effective when they first come into the game, generally speaking. First batter efficiency, 1 inning at a time, maximum effort. Nobody's been able to figure out what's causing all these injuries, the Tommy John epidemic. The one common denominator is fatigue. And that's what the organizations across both leagues are looking at. When pitchers get fatigued, that's when they're susceptible to injury.
But isn't it odd, David, that with all the safeguards in place, we see more injuries now? At least we seem like we see more. Pitchers go down with regularity.
Pitchers are throwing harder nowadays, too.
Yep. Fly ball left field. Brett Gardner is right there. And another 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Eovaldi. So he has thrown 102 pitches. He's retired 8 in a row. $15,000 guests 14 and younger are going to receive a 2000 World Series Champions replica fan ring courtesy of Veterans Jewelers. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops are called Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. That replica ring is about as close to the ring that you will ever see. It's amazing. They gave one away last year. I forget what. I think that might have been the '98 ring. But this ring is amazing. It feels like a real ring. It's a great giveaway.
The '98 ring was my favorite by far. I mean, a lot of different styles on rings. They've certainly gotten bigger and more gaudy over the years. More diamonds. But a sort of a Joe DiMaggio designed ring in 1998. Kind of oval, almost Art Deco style. Just gorgeous. My favorite one.
Chopped slowly to second. Holt charges. Can't make the play. A base hit for Gardner.
Sometimes speed will cause an unforced error. Is Holt very aware of who's running here? And at this point, oh, I got to hurry. A little too much out in front of himself there. Could not get the handle. The old Whitey Herzog statement, speed never goes in a slump.
We're in the sixth. It's a 3-3 game. Gardner on first. Now will Miley not be as aggressive to try to throw to first after getting hit with a balk. Will he change anything? You look at a guy like A-Rod and you go, wow, this is the perfect guy to play at Fenway Park with that right-handed swing. But you know who has the highest career average at Fenway Park? Wade Boggs, 369, lefty hitter. Ted Williams, 361. And a good lefty hitter can really own this ballpark going the other way. The Yankee with the most success at Fenway, Lou Gehrig, hit 350 in 148 games. So Babe Ruth hit 323, including 49 home runs.
See Brian McCann adopt that style today, particularly.
Well, Vaughn used to do that. I mean, you go the other way. Fly balls are going to be doubles. Although the present day player with the best numbers is Nelson Cruz, 391 in 28 games. And that one is ripped into left center field. It's a base hit. It splits the outfielders, and it goes to the scoreboard. Caroms out. Fielded there by Betts. They're waving home Gardner. Here he comes. He's in there. And it's an RBI double for A-Rod. And the Yankees have a 4-3 lead.
Oh, what a good read by Espada, the third base coach, with Gardner running. Nobody out. You better be sure. You know this one's in the gap. What kind of ricochet is it going to get? Is it handled cleanly right now? You're making the read go. Bogarts with the relay. Gardner easily in. We'll see here. That's decision-making time with nobody out, especially. Here's Gardner. Right about there. Let him go. And look, Espada's leading the way. All the way down the line.
There's a strike to Teixeira.
I love the enthusiasm over there at third base as Espada certainly brings it. And Alex, more damage, another RBI.
Lined to Bogarts, one away. Also, as that throw was being sent toward home, I guess Alex thought they were going to throw to second because he had a head first slide into second base and there was no play there. 51st ribby for A-Rod. So the Yankees again on top. They led 2-0 until the Red Sox scored 3 in the third. The Yankees with a run in the fifth on a balk. And now a run here in the sixth to take a 4-3 lead. Young 0 for 2. Miley goes off speed. Tommy Lane up. Just missed.
Chris Young quietly with 10 first half home runs, a lot of them very meaningful. Early in the season when Beltran was struggling, he came up big. Seems like his particular streaks have really coincided with Yankees' need. Really dangerous in this ballpark. A good fastball hitter, quick on the inner half of the plate. Miley's trying to expose him with changeups down and away. If Young can spit on those pitches, boy, it's a different at-bat. He's obviously 79 at-bats, a .354 average with 5 homers.
Nice stop there by Hannigan.
But good at bat here from Young. He swung at one changeup, but has taken 3 in a row. Now Miley's got a choice. Got a really good fastball hitter here. You're going to throw him 4 in a row. Changeups. Bullpen is ready too, and I got another lefty backing you up with McCann on deck.
That one is drilled to left field. That's going to be off the wall and high off the wall. A-Rod read it right. He took off. He scores. Young with an RBI double, and the Yankees lead 5-3. That was a bullet, putting another dent in the Green Monster.
Just a good at-bat from Young. So quick. That was actually another changeup. It said on 3-2, Miley felt like he had to get it up in the strike zone and just hung it. And Young just drills it off the wall.
Now that's a ball that the wall robbed of a home run. That would have been a home run at Yankee Stadium, but the wall got in the way. This is how close it was. And about a foot, maybe a foot and a half. So John Farrell has seen enough. He will go to the bullpen as Wade Miley's day is done. Will come on in relief of Wade Miley. So Miley trails 5-3, runner at second. Chris Young is his responsibility. This will be the 34th game for Lane. More than a strikeout per inning. Probably like to cut down the walks. And Lane will face Brian McCann. Still one out, runner at second.
Tommy Lane, very much of a lefty specialist. His whole style is geared for creating angles against left-handed batters.
Now the Red Sox actually have 4 lefties in the bullpen today because Brian Johnson, a starter who's going to replace the disabled Clay Buchholz, he's in the bullpen, available to pitch today, and he will pitch once the All-Star break is over as a starter in place of Buchholz.
A young prospect similar to Mitchell for the Yankees. Young, big power arm.
McCann, the Yankees' leading hitter with runners in scoring position, 365. He's got a runner there now. Foul back. Each team with 7 hits. Yankees have 5 runs. Red Sox 3. We're on the top of the 6th. Grounded to short. Bogarts for the second out as Young moves to third. I was going to bring up Headley. An infield single his last time up. Ground ball up the middle. Speared by Holt, but had no play. Turned out to be a big hit because it moved McCann to third, where he scored on the balk by Wade Miley.
It's a big spot for Headley here with 2 outs. Really a nice lift for the Yankees to pick up this RBI. And the matchup is good, too, as Lane tougher against lefties, but righties can see him more.
0-1.
The reason being is Lane's all the way over on the first base side of the rubber, throwing across his body. So lefties, less time to pick him up, but right-handed batters have that little extra fraction of a second to see the pitch. And Tommy Lane, he's probably got one of the shortest strides I've seen in the big leagues compared to the other pitchers today. Really across his body, all the way over. A very short stride across his body to create an angle. Cross-firing style.
Yeah, his landing spot, David, falls far short of both Eovaldi and Wade Miley. You can see it on the mound. Adam Warren was up early. He's up again in the Yankee pen.
What a nice weapon for the Yankees to have. Adam Warren back down there in the bullpen.
Two and two. On deck is Gregorius.
That's Fenway Park for you. Just that fast, you're sitting on the bench and 5 runs are on the board.
That one is drilled to left field. Will it stay fair? Yes, it does. Hits the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Headley to go to second. It's another RBI double, and the Yankees lead 6-3. Double down inning for the Yankees. 3 RBI doubles. And using the wall.
Well, yes. I mean, case in point there is Headley's able to see this cutter the whole way from Lane in that cross-firing lefty style. Big 2-out RBI double for Headley. And a bad matchup there that got exposed.
Here's Gregorius. Checks the swing. The line on Miley is complete. 5 1/3, 7 hits. 6 runs all earned. Didn't walk anybody. Struck out 2, 1 balk, 1 home run. And he threw 93 pitches.
Talked about Bogart's offensive production among the top in the AL. Obviously, Correa in Houston's going to be the best before long, or maybe already is. Gregorius' offensive production, middle of the pack. Combined average on base percentage, really about 8th. out of 15 teams in the American League. So I think the Yankees would have signed up for that in spring training. Are you going to be middle of the pack offensively and play really good defense? They would have taken that. And that's kind of what they're starting to see and get. Gregorius still improving offensively as well.
Well, if you said that in spring training, they would have signed up for that. Imagine how they would have felt at the end of April if they knew that he'd be middle of the pack, because he really struggled out of the gate and struggled defensively as well. But he's tightened his game up quite a bit. Right now, 240, 4 homers, and 19 ribbies. Headley leads off second. 2 men out, 3 runs in. Yankees up 6-3. Lane wanted that one. And the count is full with Rob Refsnyder on deck.
Just seems like Michael, I guess it was 20 years ago. It was the age of the shortstop. Alex Rodriguez here in Boston. It was Nomar, Garcia Parra, and of course Derek Jeter.
Tries to pull an outside pitch and dribbles it slowly to Holt, who flips the ball with the glove to get Gregorius. But this inning was doubly good for the Yankees. First double drives in a run. It's A-Rod. Then you got some Chris Young double action. And we finish it off with Headley going yard against the wall for a double and another RBI. On a new Yankees Classic. Watch as Big Mike strikes out a career-high 16 batters in front of the fans in the Bronx. It's an instant Yankees Classic. Wednesday at 7, only on Yes. That was the day he was on fleek. Now the Yankee bullpen will try to get the final 12 outs as Nathan Eovaldi leaves after 5 innings with a lead. And they turn it over now to Adam Warren. And again, everybody in the bullpen's available. 4 days off coming up. Eovaldi's line, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, and 4 strikeouts.
And Adam Warren right into reliever mode, pitching from the stretch with nobody on.
Ramirez fouls it away. Ramirez 1 for 2 RBI single up the middle against Eovaldi in the third. In the second, he had a fly ball to right. DH today with David Ortiz battling a respiratory infection and probably his best position DH.
Well, certainly that's going to be a big part of the equation moving forward, as Ramirez has provided the punch right-handed that they need. 19 homers and 46 RBIs. It's can he stay in left field for the long run?
And he knew when he signed here, he was playing left field. And Ortiz doesn't seem as if he has any intention to retire. So you're going to try to force a square peg into a round hole because he's not a great left fielder. But he can hit. As he laces that one into left field, it gets past Gardner, goes to the wall. Played out there by Ellsbury, and it's a leadoff double by Ramirez.
He hits the ball so hard. Talk about exit velocity. Slider up. This is just a line drive that barely gets over the shortstop's head and carries all the way. One hops the wall. Hits the ball as hard as just about anybody going today, this side of Giancarlo Stanton.
So 2 on Diaza. 1 for 2 today. Ramirez 2 for 3 today. Is on second. That was laced to left field. Right there is Gardner. So Diaza hit it hard. But right to Gardner for now. Well, the Yankee bullpen could do its job today. They are going into the All-Star break with a 3-game lead in the American League East. It could actually be 3.5 if Baltimore loses and then Tampa Bay wins. And right now Baltimore is losing. Tampa Bay's winning in the 8th, 4-3 over Houston. So it could be a 3.5-game lead. And 5 in the loss column. There's a strike. Victorino 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded to short. Victorino signed a 3-year deal with the Red Sox. Helped them win a championship in 2013. And injuries have just completely derailed him since.
Gave up switch hitting a long time ago. See, Justin Wilson is ready and waiting.
Base hit past a lunging Refsnyder into right field. Ramirez is coming home. The throw is cut off by Teixeira. He fires to McCann, but Ramirez scores easily, and now it's 6-4 Yankees.
Ramirez gets up limping just a bit after that hard slide into home. Thought there would be a play at home here. You see Young can't get much on it. Teixeira tries to save it.
Well, you see how his ankle kind of twisted? kind of caught the dirt rather than sliding. Could have broken his ankle. Emphatic safe call by a fan. I just hope that Ramirez is okay. Well, Headley was out there stalling as Justin Wilson got more pitches in the bullpen, so Joe Girardi will go to that bullpen with a runner on first, one out. Travis Shaw coming up. So Warren gives up a run. The runner at first, his responsibility. 6-4 Yanks. Well, Tuesday, baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game begins Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Should be a good game. Looking forward to that. So the Yankees bring in Justin Wilson, and the Red Sox counter with Mike Napoli pinch hitting for Travis Shaw. Foul back. 42nd game for Wilson.
No mystery here. Just good old country hardball from Wilson. Challenging Napoli with a good swing right there. And that's Wilson's game.
.95-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. There's a base hit through the right side. Victorino will stop at second. Young will flip the ball in. So Napoli takes an 0-2 pitch and grounds it through the right side for a hit.
.02 pitch above the belt, almost let her high. Definitely not a strike, but Napoli slashing the other way.
So that brings up the catcher, Ryan Hannigan, first and second with one out. It's 6-4 Yankees in the sixth. 1-0.
This game's got the feel of those old style Yankee Red Sox marathon games potentially here. Back and forth.
The 1-0. 1-1. God doesn't like that call.
Get another look. Right at the mask. Right down the middle. Generally not called a strike in today's game.
He's rearing back and firing. 2-1. Victorino at second, Napoli at first. You've got to check out Napoli when he leads off first. He looks like somebody who's about to steal something, and I don't mean second base. It's very, very odd. He'll get into this almost sprinter's position. Going, I'm going to take it. Swing and a miss. Overpowered Hannigan for the second out. All right, so the Rays have won, the Orioles have lost, and these are the up to the second standings. The Rays are 3 out, but if the Yankees win the game, it'll go to 3.5. The Orioles 3.5, Blue Jays 3.5, Red Sox 5.5, and the Blue Jays are trailing 6-0 in the 5th inning to the Royals. So it could be a big day for the Yankees if they hold on. Here's Mookie Betts. Mookie is 1 for 3, popped to short, singled to right and scored, struck out in the 4th. Wilson deals. And a strike.
McCann wants to talk about it. The first slider Wilson's thrown, as you see, Betts is 1 for 3 with that single and a run scored. Not sure if McCann actually called that slider. Maybe a little bit of a cross up, but nonetheless, Wilson got a first pitch strike. Slider right at the knees. It looked like he caught it fine, but immediately called timeout to go out and talk to Wilson. The book on Betts so far in this first half, and really going into last year, is how quick he is on the inner half of the plate. Hard stuff away has given him trouble. So when you come into this kid with those quick wrists, you better make sure you miss off the plate in, and then try to get him out away.
So the count 1-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Red Sox have 10 hits and 4 runs. Yankees have 8 hits, but they have 6 runs. Rubber game to this 3-game set. Victorino's at second. Napoli is at first. Runners go. And the pitch is low. Double steal as Wilson paid no mind to the runners.
Well, it was there for the taking the whole time, and that explains what Napoli was doing, Michael. He was just keen on Victorino. With nobody holding on Napoli, he's an afterthought, easily reaching second.
Two. Fouled away.
Wilson's got a really good fastball and good life up in the zone. Good carry, righty in action. That's why he's able to throw it over and over again.
Line foul. Talking about the Orioles losing today. So they finished the first half of the season, David, at 44-44. Last year at the break, they were 10 games over 500. And the Orioles are 3-10 in their last 13. And again, another good reason for the Yankees to want this win going into the break. Two. Fly ball, right field. Chris Young makes the play, and that will do it. Well, the Red Sox get a run on 3 hits. They lead 2. We're going to the 7th inning at Fenway. Yankees up by 2. Yes, Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. All right, we go to the 7th inning. Mike Napoli takes over at first base. He had pinch hit for Travis Shaw. And Lane deals a strike to Refsnyder. Second big league game for Refsnyder. He's 0 for 2. He was 0 for 3 last night, looking for his first big league hit. And he gets it. A base hit to right center field. Refsnyder gets his first big league hit and leads off the 7th with a single. And they're calling for the baseball.
Everybody knows it. Even the Red Sox players immediately acknowledge and toss the baseball to the dugout. And that's a nice first big league hit. And no doubt, go down and dig out a line drive on the outer half of the plate.
Fifth round draft pick by the Yankees in 2012 out of Arizona. Hit 290 at AAA this year. There's a ground ball to second base. They get the force at second. And Ellsbury reaches on the fielder's choice.
Relief at last. First one's out of the way for Refsnyder. There's no doubt that his bat will play on the big league level. His whole approach, it's really never been a doubt. The big league hitter, putting together both sides of the game. It's going to be the key.
And that one is ripped past Sandoval into left field. A base hit for Gardner. He's 2 for 4 as Ellsbury moves to second.
Well, speed kills. See how far Sandoval's playing in. Gardner knows that. Slaps it right past him.
So that is going to do it for Tommy Lane. They call on the righty Alexi Ogando with A-Rod coming up first and second. Yankees up by 2. Some of the thrilling moments of the game brought to you by Pepsi. Are there more to come? Yankees lead 6-4 first and second. One man out in the seventh. Alexi Ogando against A-Rod. And a strike.
This is kind of the MO when you face the Red Sox. Get into this part of the bullpen. They've kind of struggled. Boston's relievers this year, as you see Ogando's numbers, have given up 38 home runs collectively. That's the second most in the American League.
The inside move, chasing Ellsbury back to second.
The Tampa Bay Rays have given up 40 home runs out of their bullpen to lead the American League. And just to contrast that with the Royals have only given up 18 home runs. So the formula is this part of the game: get into the bullpen.
A-Rod blistered a double to left center in the 6th to give the Yankees the lead at the time by a score of 4-3. They scored 2 more that inning, 6-3, and Red Sox answered back with 1 in the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-4 right now. A-Rod during the break is going to L.A. He's going to attend the ESPYs. He is nominated for Comeback Player of the Year. I think he would rather be going to Cincinnati. Although the ESPYs on Wednesday, so he could have certainly made both. Three new players are all-stars, David. Clayton Kershaw is replacing Max Scherzer because Scherzer pitched today. Ryan Braun of the Brewers taking the roster spot of the injured Cardinal outfielder Matt Holliday. And then the Angels' Hector Santiago takes over for Sonny Gray, who also pitched today. There's a line drive caught by Brock Holt, and he is going to double up Gardner to end the inning. A-Rod hit it well, but Holt made a nice play and turned it into a 4-3 twin killing. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, Yankees lead the Red Sox 6-4 at Fenway, but will stay where we are as they honor America here in Boston.
The Red Sox Foundation helps make dreams come true for the families of New England. Each afternoon, you aid in these life-changing efforts by supporting the 50-50 raffle presented by DraftKings. Today's winning numbers are now posted on the center field video board. And now, before Josh Cantor leads us in the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game on the Fenway Park organ, we ask you to please rise. Here to honor America by performing God Bless America, we welcome a passionate young fan who loves to sing and play the piano. Please welcome a resident of Stamford, Connecticut, 10-year-old Lucy Scorziello.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my
All right, thanks, guys. We go to the bottom of the seventh. We take a look at the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Each team with 10 hits. Yankees lead 6-4. Scoring started with McCann's opposite field home run over the monster. That was in the second inning. A-Rod, Young, and Headley, each with RBI doubles. Bogart, Sandoval, Ramirez, and Victorino, each with RBI singles. And that is a very solid summary as we go to the bottom of the seventh. Brock Holt will lead off against Justin Wilson. That's a pretty nice play by Holt on the A-Rod line drive to turn it into a 4-3 double play. It was ticketed to be an RBI single, but quick move to the glove side, a little leap, hauled it in. Holt is 1 for 3. After the game, he'll travel to Cincinnati for the All-Star game. And the count is 2-0.
Got a good eye, too. You see that on-base percentage. Good point by Jack Curry there on the infield hits with Brett Gardner. It was really something to pay attention to. Remember, Ichiro used to lead the league in infield hits every year in his prime.
And here's the replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here. And the all-story thing about him is he plays each position very, very well. Doing a good job filling in for the injured Pedroia.
That's right, Michael. I mean, that play fooled everybody, including Brett Gardner at first base, who was looking to score on that hit. Up here, from our vantage point, it looked like it was ticketed for the gap. Full extension from Holt.
Count 3-2. Dellin Betances is up for the Yanks. Another Yankee All-Star. Toronto scored 8 runs and leads Kansas City 8-7. So a big rally for the Blue Jays against Kansas City. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by him. Third strikeout of Holt on the day. He has 1 hit.
The difference between velocity and life on a fastball, 2 different things. We've seen Nathan Eovaldi throw the ball 99 miles an hour and get hit. You can see that riding action from Wilson, even at 95, which is plenty quick enough, but his ball jumps. Definitely almost like a rising fastball, just jumps into the catcher's mitt. Some of the new technology, Michael, as we're starting to evaluate spin rates from the pitchers. Kind of tells a story. Big difference between velocity and movement in life.
Lined into center field, a base hit for Bogarts. He's 2 for 4.
Of a guy who might be the Boston Red Sox shortstop for a long time.
Well, here's Pablo Sandoval. 1 for 3, an RBI single in the third. Red Sox scored 3 runs that inning against Eovaldi. Eovaldi's still the pitcher of record on the winning side. Miley on the losing side. Fouled the fastball straight back. Popped up. Brian McCann makes the play for the second out. And with Hanley Ramirez, who has been so hot coming up, Joe Girardi not taking any chances. He's going to signal for his all-star, Dellin Betances. 1 out. So check that, 1 on, 2 outs. Ramirez coming up, and Dellin Betances coming in. Show as the skipper gives his thoughts on the first half of the season, plus get his take on the Yankees All-Stars. It's all new today after the postgame, hopefully on Yes. Well, Joe, coach for his big gun, Dellin Betances. Obviously going to ask Betances to go an inning and a third, and Andrew Miller to pitch the ninth. 41st game for Betances. Justin Wilson leaves him a runner on first with 2 outs.
Great job by Wilson. Excellent pitch on Sandoval. About knocked the bat out of his hands and popped him up to the catcher. And the dangerous Ramirez is going to have to face Betances.
Pretty cool matchup. Hard thrower against a guy who can really turn around a fastball, but Betances keeps you a little bit off balance because of the great breaking pitch that he employs. Like that, 0-2.
First pitch fastball, and there's just a filthy slider as Ramirez misses by about 6 inches. Now what? 98 up or another slider?
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Swung through a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Looks as if he might have hurt himself, but he seems like he's okay, other than the fact that he just struck out. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the 8th at 6-4 Yanks. Alexi Ogando got A-Rod to line into the 4-3 double play to end the 7th. Now it'll be Mark Teixeira leading off here in the 8th. On the Hyundai scoreboard, 6-10-0 leading 4-11-0.
There's just sometimes during a game in a particular at-bat where the hitter just has no chance. The pitcher just disallows it, and that was Betances against Ramirez in the last inning to end it. 3 pitches. See you bye.
Fastball, curveball, fastball. And once he gets ahead, you can't guess. You can't guess breaking ball because the fastball you have no time. And if you look at fastball, the breaking ball He'll get you out anyway. Great combo. Both David and I thought that Ramirez tried to check his swing and then went through, and then he dropped the bat. And you're worried about his hand, but he picked up the bat and walked to the dugout. He's the DH, so we'll see if he comes up again, whether he's in the ball game. Teixeira couldn't hold up. And with Betances having to pitch an inning and a third, it's great for him to come in and just get it out on 3 pitches. Not extending himself. Swing and a miss. Let's look at that at bat, David.
Well, pay attention. It goes by fast, and this sets it up. Paint, 98 down and away. No chance. Slider. Looks like a strike the whole way. Dives, and then 98 up. And you see Ramirez definitely tweaked his wrist on that last swing, and Betances just took the bat out of his hands. Really did not give him a chance. Complete attack mode. When Betances is right, ultra aggressive.
Here's Young. And a strike.
Get another look from the side as you see. Ow.
Wow.
I mean, Betances gets more of those types of swings than just about anybody in the big leagues right now. Funny looking hacks.
Chris Young with an RBI double in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. And that's a swing and a tip held onto by Hannigan. 2-away.
It's another classic case of you don't have to throw strikes, especially when you get ahead. Expanding the zone up.
Told you about Toronto going ahead 8-7. Now Kansas City has retaken the lead. They lead 9-8. A wild one in KC. You know, one of the best baseball columns in this country, the notes column of the Boston Globe on baseball, and Nick Cafardo wrote, Toronto has to decide to pull the trigger and get Jonathan Papelbon. They have to have help in their bullpen. And, you know, the talk is that they should make a major move for Papelbon and for Cole Hamels. And they haven't made the playoffs since they won the World Series in '93.
They are primed for it too. And they've seen attendance creep up over the last couple of years. Excitement is building up there. The amazing part about last inning too, you know, we talked about that Betances at bat, but Sandoval suddenly not batting right-handed anymore. Pretty tough chance to face Justin Wilson's fastball, batting left-handed.
Fly ball, shallow left center. Mookie Betts glides over, and the Yankees are down in order 1-2-3 against Ogando in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We get more Betances next. analysis and clubhouse reaction from this finale at Fenway. Plus, you'll hear Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame, only on Yes. Betances strikes out Ramirez to end the 7th. The Hyundai scoreboard as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees 6, Red Sox 4. De Aza will lead it off. And there's a strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. De Aza's 1 for 3. Spread stance open from the left side. The breaking ball misses outside. After the game, Dellin will fly to Cincinnati for the All-Star game. And we heard on the pregame show that gave his family a specialized van, and they're going to drive to Cincinnati and meet him there. Last year in Minnesota, they just drove to Minnesota in a car, but this time he rented them I guess a tricked out van. So the Betances crew probably on their way right now.
A big road trip.
Line into right center field. It is a base hit cutting over Ellsbury. And boy, he made a nice play to cut that ball off. He saved an extra base hit, a single for De Aza. Well, he's used to that real estate out there.
De Aza's always been a hacker. It's only 12 walks on the year, so right down the middle from Betances and down just enough for De Aza just to drop the barrel of the bat and place one right to center.
All right, so now that brings the tying run up to the plate, and that's Shane Victorino. Another former switch hitter who now just bats exclusively from one side and takes a breaking ball strike from Betances. Slow roller to second base. And that was a gamble for Refsnyder, and he made it work as he flipped to Gregorius for the force. Never thought he'd go to second, David.
Yeah, very nice play, though. Very confident. That's what you love to see with Refsnyder. No hesitation. And an important play. Cutting down the lead runner. Double play still in order here with Napoli up.
Napoli pinch hit for Shaw in the 6th and grounded a single through the right side and then stole second. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up sky high right side, backpedaling to Shera in foul territory for the second out. So 2 down here in the 8th inning. And that's going to bring up Hannigan. Red Sox with 12 hits, the Yankees with 10. Yankees have the 6-4 lead. They won on Friday. Red Sox won last night. For a strike. Koji Uehara.
He of the smoke and mirrors. Uehara, just amazing, throwing the ball in the upper 80s at best on the top end, but still a wizard out there with that fastball splitter combo.
99, just a bit high. Very late on that pitch, fouled away. And into the stands.
Well, clearly, Big Papi is really sick because he is not being used, and this would be a good spot for it. It's Hannigan's got a tough matchup here. I mentioned David Ortiz, an upper respiratory infection, out of the lineup today.
Runner goes, pitch is high, and a stolen base for Victorino. Runner at second, 2 outs, 2-2 count. Breaking ball misses outside, and Mookie Betts is on deck. Payoff. Up and in. So the tying runs are on base for Betts.
Give Hannigan credit there to work that walk. This is not the situation that Betances wanted. He wanted to end that inning there with the light hitting catcher. Now you've got the hot hitting Betts to contend with as he now represents the go ahead run in the batter's box.
Betts 1 for 4, single and a run scored. Breaking ball, strike one.
Mookie Betts buckled by that first pitch curveball.
And another curve for strike. What's next? Bounce one, another fastball, breaking ball. Betances in control. Goes with the fastball.
Betances always follows McCann's lead. Never gets caught up in the selection process. Tell me where you want it. Kind of stares for another sign there. Not sure if he got the sign or if he stared off.
2-2.
Betances has been quoted as saying that he just follows McCann's lead, but occasionally a pitcher does have veto power if you're feeling something.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball, and that'll do it here in the 8th. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. In inning and a third, a scoreless ball by Betances. We go to the 9th.
Is brought to you in part by your Tri-State BMW centers, by People's United Bank, the way you bank, but way better, and by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. David's boat is here to take him back to New York after the game, but we still have an inning to go. Chase Headley against Alexi Ogando. Yankees lead 6-4. And a strike.
It's the only way to travel.
No lights.
Miss the traffic.
The attendance today at Fenway, 37,283, is sellout.
Chase Headley batting right-handed with a big 2-out double off the wall down the line. It's looking pretty large right now.
One and two on Headley, who's 2 for 3 today. Single and the double that David's talking about. Second full inning for Ogando. Came in, got A-Rod to line into a 4-3 double play. Then he worked a 1-2-3/8. And here he is in the ninth, trying to hold it here at 6-4. Red Sox came into this series having won 4 in a row, seeming to restart their season. This is such a big game for them. And Headley works a walk to start off the ninth. Andrew Miller up for the Yankees.
Joe Girardi said he definitely wanted to use Miller twice in this series over the weekend. Still feels like he's kind of working his way back, building up strength. He only had 1 rehab appearance before he was activated.
Going to be a really interesting decision for Girardi coming up. You've got the rookie Ref Snyder on deck. You've got Stephen Drew, who's a better defender at second than Ref Snyder. You can pinch hit for Ref Snyder, but if you do that, then they're going to bring in the left-hander. And he's got to decide, do I want righty-righty or lefty-lefty here? So we'll see what Joe does. A lot of it depends on what Gregorius does. Now, the only one warming is Uehara, though.
Ref Snyder obviously coming off of his last at-bat, a line drive, base hit, first one of his career.
Oh, 2. Shadow's not quite a factor, but will be shortly. Lined into center field. Betts is there to make the play. In the 7th inning, Rob Refsnyder got himself a batting average, David.
Well, he did, and it's a good one, too. A lot of times you hear major leaguers talk about their first major league hit. Oh, it was a bullet line drive. Well, that one was. Very solid.
All right, so Joe is going to go with Ref Snyder against Ogando. Now, Ref Snyder is not a guy that you have to platoon because he hits everybody. But you also wonder in the bottom of the ninth inning, do you bring in Drew for defense?
Clearly, the Yankees want to see as much as Ref Snyder as they can here in these two games.
And that one gets away from Hannigan as Headley will move to second.
Just got handcuffed, as you see. Turns the glove over off the web. It's a pass ball all the way.
It is scored a pass ball. Two and one on Ref Snyder.
I think some of the comments with regard to Ref Snyder, Michael, both from General Manager Brian Cashman and Girardi, have been somewhat telling. They kind of, it's just win today. Two left-handed starters. Let's get Ref Snyder here to help us win now, but clearly leaving the door open for him to bust through it, push his way into the lineup.
Foul back the fastball, 2-2.
Ref Snyder got the first hit out of the way his last at bat, looking for the first home run this one. A couple of swings in a row, 2-0 and 2-1.
Headley leads off second with one out in the ninth. Yankees up 6-4. And the pitch. That one's driven deep to left field. Is it high enough? See ya! His first big league home run. And it's a huge one. A two-run shot by Ref Snyder. And the Yankees take an 8-4 lead. Oh, did he crush that?
A good day just turned into a great day. You could see Ref Snyder change his approach once he got ahead 2-0 in the count. Ogando hung a slider right there, and Ref Snyder just lost it.
Ellsbury grounds it foul.
Hanging slider, no doubter. Gonna have to go out on the street to find that one. Oh, in the back end there, maybe a snag. Thing of beauty on the Yankee side. Nightmare for a pitcher on the other side.
Any chance, David, that his feet touched the ground on that trip around the bases?
Probably not. He floated around the bases.
Swing and a miss. And Ellsbury down on strikes. And here comes John Farrell with Gardner due up. He'll bring in another reliever. But Rob Ref Snyder will remember this the rest of his life. In the seventh, his first big league hit. And in the ninth, his first big league home run. A two-run shot. He had 7 at AAA. But the one in the big leagues, so good. Four days to decide, but he's done nothing that would lead you to believe that he doesn't belong up here.
He ain't going nowhere. Stay right there.
Yankees did not tip their hand at all, saying, hey, it's just for these 2 days. We'll see what happens. Well, what happened is a really big 2-run home run here in the 9th inning. Craig Breslow comes in, and he will face Brett Gardner. Gardner's 2 for 4. And the Red Sox bullpen, we have said this, has been shaky and served up some home runs. Now makes the bottom of the 9th inning so tough for them and a little easier for the Yankees. Breaking ball, misses outside.
More importantly, as impressive as Ref Snyder's day has been, in the short sample size of 2 games, albeit here at Fenway Park, he's handled himself defensively pretty well. He's been challenged on a few different plays.
High fly ball, deep center, going back, still back on the track, and he runs it down, taking an extra base hit away from Gardner. But no one can take the extra base hit away from Ref Snyder. The ball is just a little bit too high over the wall. His first big league home run. Some breathing room for the Yankees. A 2-run shot for Ref Snyder. A 4-run lead for the Yanks.
That gives you a clue right there. Boy, the first things in life are so good, huh, Michael? How about your first big league home run? Right on top of your first big league hit. Rob Refsnyder, Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, the Yankees will go to their closer, Andrew Miller. Refsnyder stays in, playing defense at second, and Miller against Holt. And the pitch up and away.
Ridiculous numbers. The Yankees really took their time with Andrew Miller when he went on the DL with a strained flexor tendon. I want to make sure that he's okay. Girardi very adamant about getting him into this ball game, regardless of the score. As you see, this is a non-save situation, but at Fenway Park, stranger things have happened.
And a strike. Still 2-2.
Just obviously, Michael, something different about pitching in the big leagues than there is in a rehab start. They gave Miller plenty of time, plenty of rest, all the exercises. Through one rehab start, sure felt great. It ain't the same until you get on the mound here and really test it.
Holt has struck out 3 times today. Had a single in the first, trying to avoid the dreaded golden sombrero. And he does with a leadoff walk here in the 9th. Here's Xander Bogaerts. And a strike.
One of the reasons that Joe Girardi plugged Miller right back into the closer's role is for games like today, when you can get Betances in the game in the 7th inning. Really lengthens the bullpen. Probably the best fastball that Miller's thrown since he's been back, 95 miles an hour. A lot of worry on that Red Sox manager's face there, John Farrell.
And down goes Bogaerts, 1 away. Well, this season so far, we've seen 2 Yankee rookies homer in their first or second game in the big leagues. You've got Refsnyder, who did it today, and Mason Williams earlier. Last time that happened in the same season, John Ellis and Thurman Munson in 1969. That'd be awfully nice to get that out of the way. First or second game, you always want to fill the columns, and Refsnyder has done that. First hit, first home run. Well, you know that Sandoval has really given up switch hitting, choosing to go left-handed against a tough lefty like Miller. He's been awful from the right side, but he's a 260 lifetime hitter from the right side. Just gave it up.
Not sure if maybe he had a little injury that tweaked his leg that led to the decision to abandon right-handed batting. Red Sox organization thought they signed a switch hitter this offseason for $100 million. They got a lefty now.
John Farrell thought he had righted his team. Now the Yankees have come into town, about to take 2 out of 3 if they can hold on here in the 9th. Full count on Sandoval. Tapped slowly in front of the mound. Bobbled. McCann regains, and the throw hits Sandoval, and everybody's safe. And Hanley Ramirez will come up. Like he tweaked his wrist when he struck out against Betances, but he'll come up with runners on first and second. Let's take a look at this.
Well, the old swinging bunt, and McCann needs a fork as he can't quite get the handle. And Teixeira very close.
You know, from that angle, doesn't look like it hit Sandoval. Just looked like it went off the heel of Teixeira's glove. So it does not hit Sandoval. You think somebody has to get an error on that? Probably McCann after the bobble. Although if Teixeira catches it, it's an out. Devin Marrero is going to pinch run for Sandoval. Here's Hanley Ramirez. And there's a strike. And that has scored an E2. Right back to Miller. Can they turn 2? No, he throws it into center field. Holt scores. Marrero will go to third. And reaching on the E1 is Hanley Ramirez, and the Red Sox are still alive. It's 8-5. And here's Larry Rothschild to settle down Miller.
Well, Taylor made. Right back, one hopper.
That's a little on Refsnyder there as he hesitated to get the second, and Miller hesitated where to throw it.
Well, it looked like both Gregorius and Refsnyder were converging, and Miller got a little caught in between on who to throw to. As Gregorius kind of made a move towards the bag as well.
So now the Red Sox bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning in the person of Alejandro De Aza. And a strike. Yankees are not holding Ramirez on at first. Now, they don't give the error to Miller. They give it to Refsnyder. So E4. Runner goes. And he takes second. Is that confusing you, David? You took away a double play or a chance at one.
You did take away the double play, but I think with the left-hander Diaza batting, you want Teixeira behind. The most important thing is not Ramirez's run at second, but keeping Diaza.
Slow roller, and it kicks foul.
Guarding with Diaza, the lefty, back, playing against doubles as well.
You know, you wonder, David, on that comebacker, who is supposed to cover? I mean, they're supposed to communicate that before the play. But as you said, both Gregorius and Refsnyder did kind of a dance. Who's going, who's staying.
Usually with a right-handed batter, it's the second baseman that covers. But it looked like there was some confusion by both middle infielders, and a really tough error there on Refsnyder because the throw was wide. Although it looked like Miller was confused on who was covering. We'll have to ask him after the game. Just speculation on our part, obviously, up here in the booth.
Fly ball right field. Chris Young makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Marrero. The throw goes to Headley. And the Sox are down to their final out. So a sac fly for De Aza. And that's going to bring up Shane Victorino. It's never easy.
You know, and Miller's showing decent stuff, but clearly a little rusty still from his long DL stint. A lot of 3-2 counts here. One out from working out of it at this point, though.
So here's Victorino, runner at second, 2 outs. It's 8-6 Yankees. Victorino has great numbers against Miller. 11 for 24, 2 home runs.
Well, that's what he's thinking right here.
So right now the difference in the game is the Refsnyder home run. We said it gave the Yankee bullpen breathing room, and it's certainly given them that, but now it's hold your breath time. Popped up, shallow left, backing up. Gregorius, he makes the play, and the Yankees win 8-6. Really nice play by Didi Gregorius, ranging into left field, and the Yankees have taken 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox to close the first half of the season. And in their final 10 games of the first half, David, they were 7-3, and they're going to have a 3.5 game lead in the American League East as they go to the All-Star game.
Yes, they are, and Didi covers a lot of ground to get out there. It looked like trouble. Miller loves it. This was an ugly inning unfolding that finally ends.